stand by everything what you said, like just how you said about violence. Today when we were coming, we saw, just a car overtaking us. There was nothing, a small delay, maybe by seconds, and they're immediately ready to use cuss words, which is not necessary. It's
Yes.
absolutely not necessary, because if they open their eyes, it's very visible that okay, there is another vehicle in front, because of which there is a gap. Then why do we have to be so angry, agitated? That 1 second is not going to make a huge difference. Same like how you said, the violence, why people are showing violence, nobody knows. It's not necessary, while the agenda of the entire group of people standing there for protest is peaceful protest. They are not there with a plan to create a commotion or create pain for each other. Rather, they're all very peacefully. The flower thing was so beautifully told, because I also watched the reels today, but it is conveyed in a way that okay, they want to create a fight, and very much so seen that it is not all people there are not really people in authority. Rather, it is people sent by the people in authority to create problems. So it is just being twisted in such a way that problems should happen, there should be bleeding, there should be pain, so that people drag themselves out of it, which is not the right way. At least for the people who initiated this is not how it is supposed to move. There should be some response for the question which is being asked, because it is genuine. It is not a random demand.
I feel this violence insisted on that side actually accelerated the whole situation. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gained so much momentum. I would just want to see the brighter side of it. Whatever happened, I think people started resonating with it. Like, tomorrow, I'll be in that position. Like, if I don't speak up now, wherever I'm sitting, tomorrow I'll be there. It will be my situation. That's why people started talking. I think I see most of the celebrities also coming up because they felt okay, this is enough. I think famous singer like Arjit Singh is like a very famous singer. Now he has spoken up. Imagine. Now, can you call him also anti-national? The singer whom you have adored all your teenage life, and you have always had his music on your phone, and now he's telling it is wrong. Right? People are aware. People were aware always.
Yes.
To be frank, people were always aware, but they were scared to talk. They were always scared to talk. If I remember my mom, I think soon after the Modi was elected, she was very conscious of how he was. I think she told me back then only when she was elected. Even if I was young, I remember that. Like, she was pointing out the loopholes, like this is going to be bad, this is going to be bad. And soon after, a journalist murder took place, and all those things happened line by. But I was not much aware of the political situation. But as my awareness grew around this, I started feeling where we are drowning, where youths are drowning. We are used just as a vote bank because we are the highest in number in terms of population. Youths are highest in number in India, and we are just used as a voting bank during election. And if there's some violence that has to be insisted, that's it. When it comes to employment, no one talks about this. When it comes to what do you say, exams or education, no one wants to interfere with us. Let us come to the house system itself. Forget about nation. In the house also, youths are not even considered for any decision. We are not even kids. We are not even adults. If some adult decision, for example, okay, we have to buy a sofa. Simple as that. You don't know anything. You're a kid. We are sidelined over there. If something childish we do, for example, we love playing. Okay, we started playing. Oh, you're not a kid. You're grown up. See, we are sandwiched between both of this, and it happens in every single house. Where do we go? Whom do we talk to? Right? And for again, there's a gender divide over there. Like, men face different problem, women face different problem. When we come of certain age, yeah, what about your marriage, as if girls life is entirely behind that, and it's shaped around that, and we cannot raise our voice, we cannot question. And I'm glad the women are out there and questioning, and I can see loud voices over there, women questioning, and they're also telling us we feel safe. See, Gen Zs are making a world where they are making the women feel safe. I think that's the greatest achievement, being a Gen Z. I feel very proud where Gen Zs are telling over there that I feel safe in this crowd. Even though there are a lot of men over there, I feel safe. I mean, that's a huge thing. Being an Indian girl, it's a huge thing for me. Listening from an Indian girl, other from Delhi, telling that I'm feeling safe. So when all these things are happening, I think sitting here, I feel helpless also at times. Maybe I wish I could go there and do something, but I feel I can do much sitting here also. Like education, it doesn't happen inside a classroom. That's what I feel. Education happens in a conversation. Again, it's
Very
very
valid.
perspective thing. Like when you talk to a person, you might feel that, okay, I'm getting educated. It's all in the mind, how you receive and how you give. But I feel whenever it's in my action also, it can bring a lot of changes in other person. For example, randomly spoke to one person, are you okay? Like, hope you're doing fine, your eyes look small. And next day the person texts me back telling that the one word you told bring a lot of hope in humanity. It's just my action. And I started talking, I'm just being human. In some way he got educated. Like, okay, this is how it should be, this is how it should happen. It's all about perspective. It can happen with action, it can happen with words, it can happen with over conversation, it can happen with texting. Education is very perspective related. It doesn't happen in textbook is always, I feel.
Very, very much so. Two things I would like to point out. One, about how fear perspective has changed. And definitely, like you said, no, conversation is more important than classroom education. It's
Yes.
not just the books. Books is giving you something for the papers. It is not something that is going to take you in the long way, because only when you meet people, when you handle situations, that is when you actually start to educate yourself. At least that's when you understand that, okay, what I learned and what I'm doing, might be there is some connect, but there is also something much more that we have to do. And about the fear element, what I wanted to point out was, see, when we see people whom we adore, whom we admire, standing and speaking for right, we feel more confident. We feel that, okay, now we can give it up. We don't have to be that way. Like how you said, the women today are, somebody from Delhi approached you and told this, or you saw some videos. Yeah. So that in itself is one empowering the other.
Yes.
So the fear is slowly dismantling. It is getting loosened, which is good in a way. If fear getting out of way is for a good cause. So I feel that is definitely something good that is happening, because back then fear was something that held us back, but now it is not there.
Yeah.
So it should not be a problem.
I think fear has always been a thing of every institution. That's why the institutions are very strong. It can be family as an institution, government as an institution, state as an institution. I think fear is something that has held them very strong. Family system, if you see, it always works on a fear. Or any relationship also works on a fear. But yeah, that's what the state also did for past, what, how many years they are serving, 12 years. That's what they have held it in fear, telling that खतरे में है, ये खतरे में है, वो खतरे में है. It's something that is invisible, that you cannot even ask accountable for. That fear is in the air, and people have started believing that air, that it's there. Okay, I fear this, I fear this. It is just, and people are clearing that air right now. I wouldn't say everyone, there are people, but I feel it's a good start. At least hope this momentum stays.
Yes.
That they are asking. I see, all the government has to do is answer. I don't know why they are fearing from that. If they are
Yeah.
fearing, that means they are culprits, right? Someone who is neat and clean, why would he fear from answering? If I'm not a liar, I wouldn't be like, come on, I have my answers, sit in front of me. For me, if it was a personal question for me, I wouldn't talk for the crowd. Because talking for the crowd is sometimes it's dangerous also. Thinking about the future, because I don't know their awareness, what level of awareness they have. I can talk for myself if the question is directly to me. If it was given up to me, I would want more peaceful world. I think with the consciousness that I have, I see no point in hating. I know I have no point in wars, or point with the different segregation of the society, different segregation in caste, class, gender, or anything. I would want to build a peaceful world. How do I build a peaceful world is a question again. For me, consciously, even I do have conflicting thoughts on my own. There might be anger at times, there might be love, and it is coexisting. Both the feelings are coexisting. That is possible. That is for me. But I don't know about the person standing in front of me. Coming to the common page takes time. So if the generation, the elderly generation, is willing to unlearn things and come join hands with us, and same way I might learn things, unlearn things, come and stand in the same page, I think a peaceful world can be built. No one want to be in a conflicting world. No one want to be in chaos. And it's a euphoria again, like, okay, perfect world, perfect everything. It's my dream for sure, but it can be done through consciousness, is what I feel. It takes a lot of self awareness, self questioning, self criticism. I'm not telling in a criticism that you put yourself down, but where you can grow. We are not perfect. We should accept those things. I think it need efforts from both the side. We shouldn't Elderly shouldn't think, okay, you're young, listen to me, follow. I know better because I've seen life better. This is the narrative elderly have. And these people have arrogance that I know technology, you don't have anything. We need both of the balance, right? I know technology, you know life experience. How can we come together?
Yes.
How can we build a better world together? So this is what I'm trying to tell. I think both have to come to a common page with a lot of self-awareness and consciousness. Only then we can have a good world. But I would want a peaceful world. That's what I think.
If we are considering a hypothetical situation where just the Gen Z's visioned well are all surviving, hypothetical I would say, because not all Gen Z's match, not
Yeah.
everybody's thought, and it's natural, it's not necessary that everybody should think the same way, but definitely I would hope for a society where we wouldn't have a divide on things that should not, to be very very honest and frank, on areas where divide should not exist, that is happening. But like how we thought of a situation where we are all co-creating, like you said, with our elders, if we are able to co-create, that is going to be fantastic, because it is relearn, unlearn and learn together.
Yeah.
So if that is possible, it is great. Only thing is we have to stop finding differences for minute things which can be foregone. I wouldn't say there shouldn't be disputes, there shouldn't be arguments. It should be. It is a part of
Yeah.
everything. Like how we ourselves, you pointed out conflicting thoughts, very natural. We all have it. It's okay. But at least somewhere where we can avoid, we should, and where we can share and understand and go ahead, definitely it would be much much better. Not 100% peaceful. There has been a history which says about how when there is power, there is need, there is greed. Having a self realization that we're all living in the same society, in the same world, ultimately I think would make a difference. To think that way is something which is very very important. I feel the issue happens when you're blinded and when you're not thinking.
Yeah.
The day you start thinking, it is
Exactly.
very very different. That is,
It's a very uncomfortable situation, as I'm just continuing what
Yes.
you're trying to tell, that when the thinking happens, changes happen. It is scary, to think is scary at times, because thoughts are already put, everything is ready made, okay, this is how you should follow. But thinking beyond that is very uncomfortable and scary. That's why we don't want to explore that part. But I think once we do that, it's most freeing situation. It will be that you take the power on your own, and lot of things start changing. Cooler will not look like a cooler. I mean, you start thinking technically what is inside that, and that's how the power of thinking I'm trying to tell here, and that's the beauty also.
yes.
I think that's missing, because, and it's a pattern that's been carried off. I think this generation is becoming more aware on that part, not to
More.
follow what parents have given it to you. It's the education's role also to build such kind of critical thinking or self-awareness. To be That's the role of education, actually, not to give us the textbooks and make us write the exam. That's not the role of education. To build all these things, make us more human,
Yeah.
and remind us that we are human. That's the role of education, I guess. That's the missing part.
Absolutely. With that, I just thought I will share one experience which happened while we were traveling, where our co-passengers shared about their children and family staying abroad. So they were telling that they are all in their retirement stage. They have passed all this. They've seen a lot of things happening around, and one of them were telling that my grandchild is going to school without books in her bag. They only have to carry tiffin. They're little girls, little children. They showed their pictures, very tiny ones. Whereas if we look at our schools, it is very heavy bags, lot of books, lot of things.
Yeah,
but
kids go like this.
Yes, they all have a hunch. Maybe I have a hunch because of that. I wouldn't blame the school, sorry. But no, what I felt there was, for a younger age, it's okay to not fully depend on books. Maybe certain values which they learn there would go ahead a long way. What is lost there? If we are privileged to be in schools which value values, then we are very lucky. Not everywhere that is done, because everybody are running behind examinations, scores, and it is not considered important that okay, the children are to be taught to respect. I wouldn't classify it to all the schools, all the institutions. That would be wrong from my side. There are places who prioritize, but that one system abroad is so different, where they are made to learn in an atmosphere where they are sharing with each other.
Yeah.
Not only looking at the books, not only looking at the screens, which I think is something that should be adopted and which would really help. And having a good foundation in good values will really make our thinking so much better. Like how you said, it's closed, we are in a frame, we are not ready to go beyond it. But if we just break it open, it is happening. It is, people are responding wonderfully well, but if we fully shatter it, there is going to be magical things that will happen.
I think educators have a huge role to play.
Yes.
An institution like schools and colleges, yes, but the teachers and the educators that we call, I don't want to say lecturers, educator in general, it might be in different roles. I think they have a huge role to play. I think they break a lot of system for us.
Yes.
Critical thinking is built by them. What they put to us. For example, if you put insecurity to a child, he grows up or she grows up to be an insecure child.
Yes.
But if you put that confidence in her, why only the first bencher has to be, good child?
Yeah.
Why can't a last bencher be? I have always been a last bencher. I'm a good child. I know I'm a good child. I've always been a good child. I think at least for my mother, I don't care about my teachers at this point. I mean, I've been, but yeah, that's the thing, we are so conditioned about our schools. I mean, our classroom. As an educator, I'm telling you, we are so conditioned that first benches are always good, last benches are bad. They cannot study. They can never grow in their life. I'm fine. I'm doing well in my life. Why did you have to? I'm glad I had a good mother. If I didn't have a good parent, I think I would have been in a worse situation.
Yes.
So educator plays a huge role in the class. How you treat a child. It may be beyond the class also.
Yes.
When a child comes, oh, why is your skirt like this? Why your hair is like this? Why your teeth is like this? You have to do with the teeth, skirt, and anything? If you have to do, build confidence. Imagine a child getting all those, and he grow or she grow up to be anyone. He would be so confident in life. He or she could sit like this and talk anywhere, anytime. But we have built so much insecurity within ourselves. The school system have always made us feel low and not confident. And only these bright scoring people, I don't know where they are at this point, who have scored 100 out of 100 in exams. I have not seen them anywhere doing anything good. They are the robots in the corporate. Definitely, maybe making money. I don't know what they are doing in real life. When I say life, making money is not life. Life is where you talk, enjoy, sit with people, smile. Most importantly, smile without any stress. That is life. So it means, like, educator, I feel that a lot of myth breaking should happen within the institution, that not to focus on just the curriculum. Beyond curriculum is where the kids grow. Kids understand, kids learn from the kids, how they talk, and what they talk, the stories they build. They learn a lot of things. I love sitting there. I love sitting with the kids over there. Their stories are so good. I recently did a camp, summer camp. The question was, what kind of exams do you want? First of all, they don't want exams. If they do exams, it should be in swimming pool.
Okay.
We should sit in swimming pool and write. And there should be no table. We should sit in the floor and write. You should look at their thinking. We didn't even think in that manner. For us, when it comes to exams, book, cardboard, pen, that's it. For them, swimming pool is needed. Look at the creativity. And what do? We kill that. Instead of listening to it, we kill that. And in the summer camps, the first day was for them to vomit the whole year's frustration. Imagine a first standard kid has frustration. First standard kid
Oh my God.
telling about their class, teacher, oh my God, I don't know what to tell about her. Imagine a first standard kid cursing to a teacher where he or she has just have to enjoy, learn the alphabets or whatever, explore. But instead they are cursing. So that's it's a failure of the education. If we think that scoring 99 is a big thing, no, we have failed. If a kid is cursing a teacher or telling situation is bad, I don't want to go back to school, then we have failed. We are killing their innocence. We are killing their what creativity. We are killing their. They have a lot of critical thinking. To be frank, when there was a session on snake, we didn't even ask the question like, what is this tongue doing? Why can't it do like that? We are like, okay, snake bites, done. Their questions are so deep,
Yeah.
so interesting. There was other example given. See, he was one of the teacher was telling there's a bridge getting built. Now it is broken. You can't build it now from the. Why can't you build it from the half? He started asking, which is valid question. Build this one and start
Supported,
building.
yes.
That's simple. But teacher was so stuck. No. You have to build it from here only. You can't build it from the middle because the bridge is broken. Look at their creativity over there. He's like so positive. We can. What teacher is doing? No, you can't. So this is where the change has to happen. Telling that, okay, let them explore. That's so important is what I feel. I think as growing up, we lose all those essence if we are not given that freedom
Yeah.
at a very young age.
Yeah, it is that age which builds us so much. But we also have to point out on teachers who really value all this. There are so many children who are growing up. See, like you said, either it's the home or the school.
Yeah.
If you're not privileged in home, definitely students would like to depend on schools where they would expect some kind of support. And the rare few teachers who create an impact are the ones whom they remember throughout their life.
Definitely.
They will forever be indebted to them because they know if it wasn't for that one teacher or maybe one or two teachers, they wouldn't reach there with so much confidence. Shattering creativity is very, very wrong because there they lose hope.
Yeah.
And then they stop thinking. This kind of thought doesn't come free. It only comes when they know, okay, I can think. I
Yeah.
don't have a boundary. I can open up and there is somebody like Bindya listening to me.
Yeah.
So that creation is very much required and we need it.
Yeah, and also we are so much stuck with this hierarchy. Also, being a teacher, we feel like, oh, call me ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am is only over there. We are stuck behind that ma'am giving seat. As you see the ma'am, we are stuck behind that itself. We can't break it. It's a slavery mindset, that you are system. I think even my students get into that dilemma. They cannot strict. Why are you not asking the homework? We didn't do the homework. Like, that's your responsibility. You're grown up. You're supposed to do it. Why should I keep asking you? Why didn't you do it? It's like only if you question and yell at us, then we'll start doing. You're not strict enough. Students are teaching me where I'm trying to unlearn the system.
Yeah.
Whole education system that I have seen. They want me to be there only. But again, it's my or any educator's conscious decision to not do it. I think students coming and approaching you and able to talk to you it will make a huge difference for
Yeah.
everyone, for me as well as the student. It's a very relieving feeling also where you can sit like this and talk with students,
Absolutely.
understand them, understand about their story, so that what challenges they are facing in the classroom, we will be able to understand it better.
Right.
If a student is facing some problem in the house, if you sit like this, he'll talk to you.
Yeah.
He'll not tell in some restricted place. And when I understand that, I know it is affecting his education. That's why he's not able to concentrate in the class. Imagine abusive parents in the home and kid coming in the morning and sitting in the class and sleeping. And again you complain the same thing to a parent. And again they start hitting. Same abuse, it's loop. It can happen it can happen with any human also. Like if we are able to identify such thing, we should be able to intervene and talk. I think it's very human. Again, did not be teacher for that.
Anywhere, any
Yeah.
platform actually. We were in the school, so we
Yeah.
continued with
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
But I think it's an issue with the culture.
Yeah.
So unless you are willing to change, there is no possibility of positives. But if you come out of it, see, being free, it's always a norm that unless and until you are there, unless and until you're restrictive, there is no output. For that matter, any other place also, for even if it's a work atmosphere where people think that micromanagement is the only way that productivity comes, absolutely wrong. They might, okay, initially there will be results, there will be output because that's the start. But slowly, when people start to find it uncomfortable, it is going to be very difficult because they
True.
will also question, am I not capable to think on my own? So
Exactly.
that is something which is forgotten, or maybe something that is stuck here and cannot be removed. So maybe some chemical to erase it would help. So unless and until you give the freedom to think, there is no thinking.
Yeah.